Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Edward Sturm, co-founder of Commit Club, a platform for doing daily self-improvement challenges where you stake money on your ability to follow through with a challenge. An incomplete challenge stakes go to charities, successful challenge participants, brand partners, etc. Welcome to the show, Edward.
Oh man, thank you for having me, AJ. This is a production. I love this.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, and it's nice to have you on this particular show because you are doing great stuff, and you are doing something new, something special. Because we all face challenges to stick to whatever we promise ourselves, and we never. So we ask our friends, just listen. If you are a good friend, make me stay to my promise, and that also does not happen. So that's
No.
it. But I would like to hear from you for the audience, Edward. Please tell us what about this Commit Club, as much detail as possible, so that people can understand it and join you in this great mission of yours as much as possible.
Yeah, AJ, you are so kind for that introduction. And everybody who's watching, feel free to ask questions. Ask questions now or in the comments. And actually today has been a great day for Commit Club. I woke up and I found that we were mentioned in one of the biggest publications for health and wellness, healthline.com, one of the top websites, one of the top article websites for health and wellness and health and dieting. And just I woke up and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe we're mentioned here. This is a great day. What are we doing? Where we are incentivizing people to stick with daily challenges that make themselves better, that improve themselves. And like you said, AJ, a lot of friends don't hold their other friends accountable. And so we said we can do this better. We can make an app that holds the person accountable. Friends and family can also jump in and help the person stay accountable. But the bread and butter is somebody committing money to doing something. And if they don't do it, then the money that they committed, it goes to charities or it goes to other successful participants on the platform. If it's like a group, it could go to the brand who's doing the group, to the company that's doing the group, so many different ways. And that's loss aversion is a very strong cognitive bias. It drives a lot of our actions, and it's what we're doing to keep people accountable with Commit Club.
Right, Edward. Basically, it's about pushing somebody out of their comfort zone through positive habits and challenges, which they are normally not able to do in their day-to-day life. So, how did this idea come to your mind? I know you are a great traveler. You have seen a lot of countries, a lot of places. So, how did this come to your mind? And then you thought about actually putting it into action in a format that everybody else can join in. So please tell us about that.
Yeah. That's a great question. And I am. I'm a pretty active traveler. I'm in Bucharest, Romania right now. In a few weeks, I'll be in Rome. I've been traveling for the last 4 years. And Commit Club was founded while I was living in Ukraine. I lived in Ukraine for 2 years, left 10 days before the war started. Like literally, the airport that I flew out of was hit by a missile 10 days after I left. Crazy stuff. And we started Commit Club in April of 2021, April last year. Had the idea while I was in Kiev. Then I went on a trip to eastern Ukraine, to Kharkiv, which is when we formalized, me and my co-founders, we formalized, we're really doing this. And my one co-founder, he's German and he's from Hamburg, and then my other co-founder is Ukrainian from from Kiev, and he was actually like Grammarly's head designer. And how do we come up with this? Well, I'm someone who's always challenging myself through daily commitments. Right now, I'm doing like handstand challenge where I literally like do handstands every day because it's a really good exercise. I'm doing flutter kicks and dips. I'm doing those as daily challenges as well. When I was living in Ukraine in January, I was doing a cold bath challenge, and I was taking cold baths in the Ukrainian winter, and it was cold. It was cold, and I did that every day, and I had real money staked, and if I failed, I would lose that money. But that the original idea isn't even the sexiest story. Yeah, I'm obsessed with doing daily challenges and bettering myself, and I really believe that if anybody commits to a 30-day challenge, they can do amazing things and turn their life around completely. But the idea came about, we wanted to make a mood tracker. And then we said, okay, but how do we incentivize people to track their mood every day? And my co-founder came back to me, Leon came back to me, and he's like, oh, let's do this. Let's have people stake money on their ability to do it. So if they fail, they lose money. And I'm like, that's a great idea. And then he's like, and we could give money to everybody who succeeds. We could take the money that people fail with and give it to everyone who succeeds. And I'm like, that's a super cool idea. And that's how the idea was born. And that's the story. That was in that was in April last year.
Okay. And who is this for? Is it how many people have joined this particular program? Who is this for? How can people join this particular initiative of yours, which is quite helpful? If I see it in a very simple manner, the way I have understood it.
Who is this for? I believe that 30-day challenges, I believe that daily challenges, stake daily challenges, can get into the global zeitgeist. What does that mean? That means 30-day challenges can get into the culture. And we actually saw that happen a little bit during lockdowns, during COVID lockdowns. If you look at Google Trends, 30-day challenge peaked during that time. And I think it can become way more popular. And I think it can be the type of thing, what's your 30-day challenge? What's your 30-day challenge? Like, what are you doing? I'm working on this. I'm working on this. In the same way that doing your own hustle, doing your own side business or your own startup and quote unquote hustle culture has gotten really huge. And a lot of people have problems with hustle culture, but in the same way that has gotten huge, I think 30-day challenge culture can become really big. But right now, Commit Club is for the types of people who have been wanting to start something or who have tried starting something and who have had trouble following through. And the thing is, if you stake money on you following through and you share your challenge with a friend, because every challenge on Commit Club is shareable. If you do this, and especially with the money, you will do your challenge. If you have several $100s riding on your ability to sit quietly in meditation for 10 minutes a day, you're going to meditate. You're going to do it. And the making money part of Commit Club, that's kind of just some like fun idea, but the meat is that you do your challenge because you have something real on the line. And
Right.
yeah.
Right. So, and how do you people ensure that the person is sticking to his promise, and how much money? How do you make sure how much money can be put at stake? Because it's more of a fun way of making others stick to their promises to themselves. Coming out of their positive through their comfort zone, and then create a better life for themselves. So, how do you do that firstly, how do you make sure that they are sticking to their promises?
Well, people can lie because the goal is that people are doing these challenges. The idea is people at the beginning are doing these challenges for themselves, and and even if you lie to yourself to get your money back each day, you're still keeping that challenge top of mind. You're still keeping it in your head, and so you may still end up doing it. So people can lie. However, we are building in lying prevention for those who want it, and it's a fairly it's a fairly complex thing. It sounds very simple. Oh, just connect to an API from a third party, and we use the data that they track. But a lot of third parties will change their APIs without telling developers, and that can create real issues for people who have money on the line. And so what we would do, we part of this project is blockchain based, and we are ultimately turning Commit Club into a decentralized protocol for developers to build challenge applications on. And one of the aspects of this would be showing the reputation of different oracles or different third parties who are tracking people's commitments, who are tracking people's actions. And so if, for example, I won't name, if I won't like give any names, but for example, if one app wasn't doing a good job at notifying developers of API changes, they might have a bad score in our protocol, and then other developers wouldn't want to work with them. And a lot of apps like having a thriving developer ecosystem, and so it would be in their best interest to actually like update everyone in a proper way when APIs are changed. What's your background, AJ, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, my background?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a master's from Delhi University, political science. I do understand a bit of business, and that's it. And obviously a journalist. I've been most of the time I've been a journalist all through my
Really?
working life. Okay.
Cool. Wait, I mean, I'm very curious about you. I'd like.
Yeah. It's there. It's there on LinkedIn. You can have a look at
All right. Okay.
all the details. And I'm sure it's good you ask this question because very few people ask generally about. They do ask about that. You are asking good questions. You are asking about your production is good, but generally beyond that, people do not ask about exactly the qualifications that one brings in. That also brings in the bent of mind. So I understand mostly from the social point of view how exactly things work. But in terms of technology, talking of technology, Edward, you talked of blockchain. Now, how does blockchain work in your system in Commit Club?
Yeah, sure. So we are decentralizing the entire application, and so right now, one of the things that you can do is you can stake ETH and then make ETH when people don't do their commitments. As we decentralize it further, there will be blockchain records of people checking in to their challenges every day, and then other developers can tap into those open blockchain records and create apps on top of that. That we will have a protocol that others can plug into and use, similar to how so many devs are using POAPs, proof of attendance protocol. We'll have NFT achievement badges where people can do a really hard challenge and get a super rare like NFT trophy for completing that challenge. And that trophy, they can keep it, or it could turn into a collectible that they sell on the open market. And that gets really exciting too, because if a famous person does a challenge and they get a rare trophy, then that trophy will have even more value. And we are turning everything into what's called a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which means that Commit Club will be governed by people who use us the most, and people who want to have more of a stake within the project.
Right, right. It sounds like a simple project. Now, where do you want to take this project with the use of blockchain, with the use of technology that is developing? You are asking more developers to join in. So, where do you want to reach? And is it the all this bringing in technology to reach more people, or is it to create it much more into a sort of a monetization sort of a stuff?
Yeah, we've bootstrapped the entire thing. We haven't taken any outside funding, so we will monetize at a certain point, and then when we decentralize everything into the DAO, as I described, we might turn off the monetization actually, and
Okay.
the DAO could vote on turning it back on, which is very similar to what Uniswap has done. But yeah, we will probably monetize very soon with group challenges. So that's B2B. That would get us into more B2B SaaS. And this is something that is desired by companies. And we already have a lot of that infrastructure in place within our app. We already have a lot of that laid down. So I think we will do that. That's the near future. And then I think the long-term play is we are just the ultimate platform for doing challenges, and we are also blockchain based, which gives all of the challenges records on the blockchain. And I think that's a very exciting concept, because
Right.
you imagine, like, you want to see if I'm a trustworthy guy or if I have like a good track record, and you can see that I'm following through with everything that I say I'm doing, and it's tracked by third parties, because we will build that in, like I said. And then that kind of gives me like a real reputation as well. Like, Edward is someone who sticks to his goals. Edward is someone who does what he says he's going to do. AJ has stuck with all of his challenges. His completion percentage is 97%. And I think that's great.
Right, right, Edward. So you talked of incentivizing people, incentivizing if you are not staying to your promises. But if you complete a challenge, or if you complete your whatever you say, then do you incentivize them? Are you doing it now? Do you have plans for in the future? And how do you want to keep those people onto your platform? Because once this comes in, there will be other guys also jumping into this particular line.
Yeah, well, we have a few other, there are a few similar products out there. We're definitely not the first ones to try this. We're not the first ones to try this within the Web 2 space, but we are the first ones to try this within Web 3. However, we also have Web 2 functionality in. I think it's very important that we do that. And you asked, how are we incentivizing people, or is that what you asked?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a very simple introductory flow to actually creating your challenge. You don't just have to do it with money. You can do it for free with an email address. You don't have to just use like a crypto wallet. And if you do it for free, then you can share it with your friends. You can share it on social media, and people can hold you accountable. And if you have money on the line, you don't want to lose that money. So if you do it with money, you don't want to lose that money. And especially if you have money on the line and you have friends watching. And then when we build in groups, which are coming very soon, when we build in groups, now you're playing with a group, and the group can also I think it's harder to lie to the group when the people in the group are your friends and people that you know. Some people are very comfortable lying to their friends, but I think many are not. And a good example of this would be if you watch Seinfeld, there's one of the most famous episodes of TV in the United States is this episode of Seinfeld where the group of friends commit to not masturbating, and they all put down money, and whoever goes the longest without masturbating wins the money. That's one of the most popular episodes of TV in the United States. And there's no app to measure if they're actually doing it, you know. They're all honest with each other, and I think it's like a similar concept to that.
Right. My question to you, Edward, is that your business model will be based on people who are not able to uh, keep their promises to themselves or are not able to commit to what they are saying. Your business scalability will also depend on the rising number of such people. Do you feel that more and more human beings will continue to not be true to themselves or not keep their promises, that they will have to come to a platform to commit to themselves, so that either they are afraid of losing money or they feel that they are being incentivized for keeping up to some promise?
So the question is, am I concerned that people will not want to use Commit Club because they don't want to lose money?
No. That the number of people, the more and more people who will adopt your platform will be those who are not able to stick to their resolutions. So they will need an extra help from outside. That is where your numbers will grow. So, like people like me, I generally tend to stick to what I say. If I'm not able to, then I try to, within my limits, I try to evaluate and try to see if I'll be able to do, if I seriously want to do it, but I would personally would not like to go to a platform to commit myself to doing something that is important for me. Now it is about me. Even though, do you think it will be a huge number of people who would come to platforms like this just to stick to what they should be doing? Or is it that the platform will offer something beyond that?
Okay, I think I understand the question. So there are, based on the data that I've looked at. So about me, I'm like one of the best search engine optimization people in the world, and
You are.
yeah, and so I wanted to get. I use keyword data. I use site traffic data from other sites or from articles to find out if a specific niche is popular. And there are a lot of people who are interested in doing daily challenges. And I think doing a proper daily challenge means that there is something on the line, whether that is your reputation within friends or money on the line. But there is something on the line. And there are a lot of people who are very interested in tracking their habits as well. And a secondary function of Commit Club is every day when you check in, you write a note about that day's activity. And so you can accrue a very useful list of notes about your habits and your daily actions as well. So I believe that the amount of people who are interested in doing this is quite large, and I think the market will grow. But also, I think when you gamify habit building and IRL daily challenges, then the retention is great as well. So we have good retention because you have to check in every day, and we're gamifying it. We can put in growth hacking as well, so people are incentivized to share to keep them accountable.
Okay.
And the culture around health and wellness now in the wake of lockdowns and COVID. The culture around health and wellness is huge, and we want to make people into their best selves. And so I think the amount of people who want applications to help them do that is high.
Right, right. Now, my last question about this particular stuff that you are doing, Edward, is that obviously people will be doing what they should be doing best, and that's what it will promote them and egg them to do. In terms of data privacy, now your platform will be having data about people's habits, which are very close to them, which is very personal information, which a lot of people do not have. Most of the people have their address, their phone number, and a few things about them. But this will be about things that they are not able to do but are trying to do. How do you ensure in this change scenario when you are moving from web 2 to web 3, how will you tell them that data privacy should not be something they should be worried when using Commit Club?
Right. Well, okay. So one, with the current version that exists, if you don't want to share your email address, you don't have to. You can do a free challenge with just a crypto address, with just a wallet address, and that's anonymous. And because the challenges aren't yet on the blockchain, we are the custodians for that data. When the challenges are on the blockchain, we still may not publish journal data onto the blockchain. And if we do, we will likely have an option to have it not published to the blockchain. The default will be blockchain based. We want this open record. But if you want to do challenges that are private to you, you toggle on privacy mode. And that is very important because a lot of people do private challenges. A lot of people do challenges that they don't want other people to see, but they just want to be held accountable. Right now, things are totally private. No one knows about your challenge unless you share your challenge. That's how it is right now. Nothing, like, with the exception of you depositing your crypto into the system, nothing is written publicly. And we want to keep that same ethos of privacy in the project as we move forward as well. But if anybody is curious about privacy too, like, feel free to reach out to me and ask me questions. Happy to answer anything. But I don't think that should be an impetus to using and trying Commit Club to improve yourself and stick to that habit that you always wanted to stick to, or cut that bad habit that you always wanted to cut.
Right. And how do people then connect with you? How do they start using Commit Club in the present form that it is? And if they have any questions, how do they connect with you directly?
So on Twitter, I am at Edward_Sturm. It's just put an underscore between my first name and my last name. And our website is commitclub.co. You can Google Commit Club. You can Google 30-day challenge builder, because we are very bullish on 30-day challenges. And we're pretty easy to access. And we're also very open to communication. So message me or message us at any time.
Right, Edward. And in fact, I'll put a lot of your information on the YouTube description so that it helps people reach you much more easily. It's easy to remember, easy to go through that. So
thank you.
I think you have been able to help us understand how these challenges and all this stuff people can do better in life. They can come out of their comfort zone and create positive habits out of things that they think that they are not able to do in their everyday life. And obviously then all these things will move towards gamification of this whole platform, and then monetization, and perhaps afterwards you will not monetize. After that, maybe again it will be coming to a free state. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, you're amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for all this information. Thank you for coming on to this platform and sharing your details with us and our audience.
Thank you, AJ. And thank you everyone for watching and listening.
Thank you. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you once again.